Welcome to a video that I am calling Elemental Command Center, Elementals of the Logos, and Dark Matter. Namaste, Satnam, Asalam Shalom, Namah Shivaya. Welcome back to my channel, Indigo Angel. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for returning for another video. Much appreciated. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out and see if you like the content. Now, about this Elemental Command Center and how I do feel this is, for one, the dark matter body template, and also about understanding base matter structures, and also interpreting light language through these understandings. Now, the Elemental Command Center would be one going deeper and more quantified within one's awareness of the 5 primary alchemical symbols: fire, water, air, and ether, and earth. Going deep into the subatomic realms of what all living things are actually composed of. So it's this awareness that one is going within themselves, and this is beyond the 12th dimensional avatar body, as this is going within the subatomic, meta, ultra, radial, prototype levels within the body, within the, this is even beyond the gamma rays, the delta rays, the theta rays, the higher radial light waves. This would be even more quantum than these perceptions and realizations. This is literally really sticking your hand in and grabbing the sustenance of what everything is founded on, in, and through. As these are the actual building blocks of life, as there are 118 confirmed elements and 144 predicted, hypothesized, or assumed elements existing in the universe, and possibly even more than that, which is going above and beyond even the extended version of the periodic table. Now, the elements are the organic structures of the earth planes that are based on templates of spheres within spheres of the partiki bodies, which are equally a part of the particle and antiparticle realms and states of existence. Particle realms being the living formations of matter bodies in space according to 12 dimensions of physical matter. And antiparticle being the non-matter bodies, the void or the empty space. The emptiness or antiparticle aspect, science knows that something is still having an effect. So they are calling the matter you cannot see the dark matter template. This is actually an elemental substance that they are calling the koilon. The koilon being the base primal foundation all of the universe is actually built on. Koilon is termed the mother matter, empty space, colorless spiritual fluid, said to produce space as 7th grade of density. It is the substance of all stars and may possibly belong to an entirely different order of logos consciousness. Even when I attune to the vibration of the word koilon, I sense a serpent energy, as if to say the vastness of space was the eternal body of a giant Kundalini snake. And I feel I align to the Kundalini rising inside myself by just saying the word koilon. It's interesting, but yes, you may want to try that. I feel that dark matter is the essence of our prana, which breaks down even more to specific elements like oxygen, because on a subatomic, on a super subatomic level, one oxygen molecule essentially has one male and one female snake. But I will get into that a little bit later, or possibly in another video, as these expressions of source are so super etheric that the complexity winds you up very rhythmically like a snake. So it can be hard to follow these perceptions and realizations of source energy, but this is truly the base matter foundation of what we actually are. And that's why I'm putting this video out today, is because my guides my Lyran, Syrian, Pleiadian, Melchizedek, Arcturian, Orion guides essentially have been pushing me to talk about this for a very long time. It's just has been coming together as I've been searching for specific keys or pieces of knowledge that have just now started to align to what it is I'm searching for. And so I've had to wait for this one, but all along I've been expressing it. But essentially, when you align to the koilon, you're opening up your awareness or your consciousness, accessing the ether. And this is equally the thinnest gas and simultaneously the densest solid. It is all dimensions. It is the substance of all stages of the creation process, interconnected. The place where atoms are actually manufactured and then come into materialized form. These partiki units, having 15-dimensional hydrolesic rings that correspond to the dynamic core, sparks, and generate quantum that allows direct flow of living energy. This can be perceived more through the studies of Merkaba mechanics and the understanding essentially of the particle importing and exporting systems of bioenergetic fields. So if you are looking to study more of this, an incredible reference for the koilon is going to be the Occult Chemistry book by Charles Leadbeater. And I also have a video describing Merkaba mechanics, and I'm going to leave that link at the top. Now, you can also think of the dark matter template also as gravity. Gravity also equally being the incipient foundational source of the universe before the forces of magnetism and electricity. As every star and every planet, whether the planet has a magnetic field or not, is still experiencing gravity. And it's these gravitons or partiki, or what some spiritual scientists are calling partaves, combining the action of particle and wave into one word. And it's truly a partiki or a partave that makes up space. And once you inset mass into the fabric of space, such as gas or any sum of an atom, you displace the gravitons, causing a gravitational field on the mass, and the bigger the mass, the larger the gravitational field. The mass creating pressure. If the mass grows big enough, it causes a nuclear reaction and is what powers the sun. Now, on a spiritual level, on a very expanded source perception, this would be from avatar perception, looking down on human perception, and not looking down, but looking at it from logos consciousness, essentially. So highly expanded prime creator consciousness. We're leaving all pre-notions of solar ascension aside just for a minute, and what is right or wrong in the ways of Christed ascension, because this is breaking down again to base matter structures and the actual fundamental laws of materialization. Okay, so one could come to see that solar ascension may in fact still represent our duality, as solar ascension comes through expansion and contraction, ascension and descension, through essentially burst of gamma waves, delta waves, theta waves, beta waves. This is how our human mind comes to perceive consciousness, is through an up and a down, through a wave-like flat, through a radial wave light, essentially. And this can limit the mind to even the greater forces of the galactic center, because we don't really talk about the galactic center very often. We have actually been steered away from the galactic center and have been told that the galactic center is a black hole. So I don't really know about that so much either, because that is essentially dooming the Milky Way. It's dooming the galaxy on an energetic level. Okay, and then when you start to look at the pictures of the galactic center and you start to actually look at the structure of it, it does not resemble a black hole. So I really think that the galactic center is not a black hole. I think it is a central sun that is just covered by mass. And this is essentially where all ripples and all pulsations of the dark matter template echo from, but still is also the foundational source to even the central sun. Christed ascension is only the flip of the coin, or should I say the koilon. As all source expression, ascension, and descension would still be through the primal incipient foundation of dark matter. So I feel the elemental command center, the elementals of the logos, and the dark matter template is the foundation to understanding the galactic and astral code to any and all forms of light language. This is the master key to reading it, interpreting it, and decoding it. As the galactic realms are equally and oppositely the subatomic realms of realities and existences on and off the planet. As many of these unidentified elementals are not all of Earth, and that the possibilities of opening up to even an entirely higher or denser order of the elementals is within the frameworks of possibilities, because there are 3 different states of matter that exist within just the atomic and gaseous state. This would be the hyper, the meta, and proto levels, and equally representing our states of awareness. As we attune to our 12th dimensional avatars, we begin to perceive these states within our own body. When our consciousness goes hyper, meta, ultra, radial, proto levels within, this is when you know you've embodied galactic consciousness, when your perceptions of source are subatomic inside, when you access your DNA psychically and begin working with molecules, neurons, and quantified states of elementals within. Now, light language itself is truly from the soul, from the heart. But what is the heartbeat? What is breathing? What is moving you? We are codependent on these living elementals and subatomic partiki. You are not breathing. It is breathing you. Do you think about breathing? Not really. All subconscious ascension cycles are connected to an elemental that lives subatomically within you and is living you. This is actually the silent spiritual fluid, a world of a vast unseen existence that's directing your every move. People walking, people going, cars constantly driving, and they don't really know what for. But something is always pushing them forward in the fabric of invisible space-time. Now, getting back to my point I want to make about light language and the elementals. As I feel any form of light language, spoken, written, danced, drawn, channeled, is the fundamental alchemical transformative process of atoms as diagmatic. Okay, so when I say diagmatic, I mean gravitationally increasing and compressing lunar cycles that increase or decrease the celestial radial particle vibrational rotation in one's Merkaba field or bioenergetic field. And one expresses this as this shift occurs, and that is what light language is they are expressing the shift as it occurs within their consciousness. Now, it's important to understand the structures of an atom to understand why we are harmonizing to such high attunements of creational expression. And it's important to understand the development of elements as well. But I'm going to explain the base structure of an atom quickly because I feel that it's important. So I feel the human body, the human psyche, the human emotional body, all alchemical bodies follow the 3-7 rule, where our perceptions beyond the human mind on a soul level Once duality is transcended into a whole perception and comes into trinity, due to the structure of your atom, the atom is composed of 10 wires internally. Therefore, the atom itself is 10th dimensional. Logos consciousness is 10th dimensional, and I do believe the Egyptians got this right with their 10-degree decans. This is a representation of one realm of Logos consciousness. Now, my guides and higher intelligence sources show me that there are 3 thicker wires, and these 3 thicker wires respond vibrationally to the first 3 primal sound orders of light and sound, the seraphims, the Elohim, and the Brahmarama. The other 7 are thinner wires, and they respond to creational colors, 7 inner planets, and 7 alchemical elementals. Now, what's even more infinite? For every one observable atom in the physical plane, that atom is represented and connected to 49 in the astral plane, 49 in the mental plane, and 49 in the Buddhic and solar Rishic planes. I feel these are the base trans-harmonic mechanics to the prism of existences of eons, ions, and yanis of primal life orders. Now, once you see how one atom is structured on a subatomic level, you can see how human consciousness will follow a 3-7 rule of conceptualization of Logos consciousness. Now, light language is the one resonant attunement of elements. Their conscious transitions of atomic number increase that plays out like a melody or a symphony in one's accumulation or acceleration of partiki matter spins and one's awareness of higher radial light and density earth bodies. It's the psychic shift internally going from a dense accumulation of matter to a full spectrum of complex, intricate, higher emergence of full spectrum neutrality. This is the beauty of the light language itself. It's a full-on conscious awareness of the transharmonic shift of elemental alchemy within the dark matter template. No resistance, and this is the base 0-point field of neutrality, and is full-on radial complex central sphere or prism of one's third eye, simultaneous to 360-degree range of claircognizance. Now, this explanation is something that my guides really have been pushing me to understand for some time, and this is an accumulation of my research. This is an accumulation of higher density Lyran, Sirian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Orion, Hydra, Spica, attunements, relentless ascension cycles of these attunements, and coming into these awareness of these smaller subatomic partiki aspects of myself for me to be able to deliver this information. But this has always been, unfolding for some time. So you may have noticed in the past a lot, I've made references to the elementals when I speak about ascension processes and how one may relate internally, telepathically, elementally, in a vibrational sense or a spiritual sense to these aspects of the elements inside themselves. So I always say, if you're attuning to gold within, you are experiencing creation. If you are attuning to iron within, you are experiencing the underworld. If you are attuning to oxygen inside, you are aligning to the Kundalini. As the base molecular structure of the oxygen molecule has 2 snakes inside of it, one feminine and one masculine. The oxygen is what rises from the base of the spine. This would be the rise of the oxygen molecule within the koilon. So if you're attuning to oxygen, you are aligning to the Kundalini. If you're attuning to copper inside, you are aligning to the flow of electromagnetism inside. If you're aligning to the chromium, you're aligning to ancestral energy. If you're aligning to carbon, you're aligning to the universal reformation of mankind, as carbon on a subatomic level under accelerated partiki vibration creates teeny tiny Rosicrucian symbols within it. If you're attuning to sodium, you are aligning to your foundation and the bones within your body. If you're attuning to the noble gases, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, radon. There's some other ones. You're highly expanded in your most enlightened phases. And if you're aligning to all of the alchemical metals, gold, silver, copper, iron, tin, lead, and mercury, you're full harmonizing planetarily within. When many think of elements, they initially think of the spirits in nature, such as fairies, or they initially think about earth, air, wind, fire, and ether, which are all true primary alchemical symbols, like I said before. But that is simply just scratching the surface to what this illusion actually is. We are a conglomeration of an infinite spectrum of transharmonic revelation within. And you know me, I usually go hyper-quantum within the unseen to bring forth my best understanding. And underneath the surface of air, earth, wind, and fire, and ether is a vast, intricate world of multidimensional planes and spheres within spheres of the gaseous, etheric, superetheric, subatomic, and atomic realms of matter structures of snakes, dots, globes, ovals, eggs, hearts, rings, spikes, dumbbells, you name it. All of these arrows, all of these intricate shapes that truly represent the reaction of the atomic structure within that element. And here are some pictures of what these elements look like under a microscope, which is actually how they do this is through a projection of an X-ray. So they shoot each element through a microscope, through an X-ray, and then these would be the symbols that appear of the actual structure before it goes through any type of alchemical shift. Okay, so now here are some pictures of the alchemical symbols to that specific element. Now you can take these pictures that were shot through the X-ray projection and you can compare them to the esoteric formations of the channeled alchemical symbols. And you can see that the scientific and the esoteric formations are very similar. And then how similar they are to the specific alchemical symbol for the element. So each alchemical symbol is an expression of that element under acceleration of partiki rotation. And there can be multiple expressions of each element as well. So one element will have many expressions. In other words, light language would be one attuning into this aspect of themselves as these elemental shifts occur and channel the actual creation of what's happening inside of their body on a subatomic level. The projection of consciousness would appear to be galactic code or galactic channeling. But it is that of the micro and macro evolution within, that everything that appears to be galactic is truly the subatomic structures. So as soon as we can really start to make sense of these symbols, the telepathic nature of the planet is going to shift tremendously with a tremendous acceleration of planetary telepathy, as the future prototype levels specifically only communicate at the symbolic levels at the speed of thought. That is the future of the new human transharmonic races.